Good morning, everyone. Okay, so in this webinar, we're gonna be doing some small introductions, and then we're gonna give you a good idea about the Middle East construction sector. Then we're gonna talk about advanced work packaging and workface planning. Then we're gonna list the benefits of both. And then my colleague Nabil will talk about the ACC, the AutoCAD Construction Cloud Platform. And after that, I'll be talking about how we handle advanced work packaging and workplace planning at BlackSmith. So just to give you an idea about ourselves, I myself am Shahade Kassouf. I'm the VP Operation at BlackSmith. I have around 24 years of experience. I worked for CCC most of my career and a bit for BEMCO. And during this experience, we have been exposed to several JVs like Fluor, Saipem, JZC, Shioda, and we dealt with several owners like Chevron, Exxon, Aramco, ADNOC. So we have a very good idea about what these company and those owners would require from their contractor. I worked in many countries like Europe, UAE, Oman, Qatar, KSA, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, and in the United States as well, and in Kuwait. So in short, most of my experience, let's say in the past 14 years, I've been concentrating on the workface planning and advanced work packaging. Off to you, Nabil.
Thank you, Shahad. So my name is Nabil Nouga. I am based in Dubai. I'm French, and I apologize for my French accent. And I'm also coughing this morning, so I apologize for that. So I am technical sales on the AEC space for Autodesk since 1 year. However, I work for Autodesk since around 10 years. And before joining Autodesk, I had multiple roles. I work on the oil and gas industry as a piping engineer or site superintendent. I was also BIM manager in the petrochemical industries, document controller as well, and you can recognize some names. Since I joined Autodesk, I was lucky to support some large accounts in the region, in the Middle East, but I started in Switzerland for Autodesk, and I've been moving to Dubai in 2014. So I'm basically helping our customers to enable them to digital workflows and to better use our platform and software. Over to you, Shahad.
Thanks, Nabil. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about our team. So our team at BlackSmith, we have around 50 years of experience of construction. And this one is concentrated on AWP and WFP for construction management. And we have a good experience in being consultant in providing these AWP and WFP implementation. In addition to this, we are certified for system integrators. So anybody who want to use the Autodesk platform to do their work, we are quite experienced in this. And we cover all phases of the project, not only the construction, but we have emphasis on construction. This is a list of some of the projects that the team worked on before joining BlackSmith. So we can see we have back in 2008 and 2007, we work on the largest GTL plant. In 2008, we started a shy implementation of workface planning. And this gave us a very good result. We got 8.2% progress monthly. 2010 also we worked on workface planning as well, and this gave us the ability to start the paving at 20% progress. This is in the construction unheard of. And if we go just till the end, we can see that also we worked on Tengiz in Kazakhstan 2018, and this is a modular project that require multiple vendors to provide their modules to be there on time. And we were able to highlight serious material issues and delays around 7 months prior to execution. So in all of these experience, we can see that workface planning work in a way or another, because it always highlight issues and give us enough time to mitigate it. So what's happening in the Middle East? We can see here, this is a list or a graph from Ernst & Young. You can see that in the Middle East, our numbers are not good at all when it comes to the execution of project. We are 89% overrun when it comes to cost, and we have 87% schedule delays. So in other words, if we look across the whole world, we are the least performing when it comes to construction. Now, if we look at the construction project, the reason of these issues, we can see that 30% of our construction cost, this overrun, is due to rework. So we go start the job, we receive a new revision, we forget to implement it because our systems are not properly integrated, and we end up building, demolishing, rebuilding, demolishing, and so on. We can see also that 60% of the construction project fail to meet the cost and the schedule. Actually, the number from the previous sheet are a bit bigger. And we know that the productivity of the construction sector is very low. And this is not only in the Gulf region, it's across the world. Now, if we take, for example, the largest country in the Gulf region, which is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we can see that around 12% of the non-oil GDP is attributed to construction. So this is quite a big number. 160 billion US dollar are being invested in this sector, and it employs around 3 million workers. So this is quite a big number, and really it requires our attention. Just imagine an improvement of few percentage in the performance, how much it will reflect on these 160 billion. Another item is every single company that work in the world, when it comes to oil and gas, it's no longer an option. So you want to work in oil and gas, you want to be a subcontractor for these big companies, you have to have AWP. It's no longer an option, it's a requirement. Now I'm going to talk a bit about workface planning. So the workface planning, if we think about it, the whole intention of workface planning is to make sure that the people who are doing the job, actually executing it, which are the direct craftsmen, can give, if they spend 1 hour, we would like a 1 hour production. Currently, the numbers tell us if they spend 10 hours, only 3 out of them are real production. The rest are wasted getting the tool, going left and right, waiting for people to finish before them. All of these are actually cutting from the actual direct craftsman work or tool time. So the whole intention of workface planning is to increase this percentage while lowering the others. This is the whole idea. We also notice that the supervision time also is being spent as little as 1.5 hours in a 10-hour work span by supervisors supervising really their crews. And the rest of the time they are trying to do stuff they are not supposed to do. Like, for example, why would a foreman do a planning? Why would he travel 3 hours a day trying to find tools and items and so on? All of these are taking them away from their specialty, which is to supervise their crew. So as a definition, the workface planning is, the whole idea is to get the item or the job, the element necessary to do the job, make sure they are ready, available for your crew to do on site. So if we look at the full description here, we have first of all to treat the whole project and slice it into mini projects. And these mini projects, we call them construction work area. And then we take those construction work area and we slice them further, but this time by discipline. So before was geographically, now by discipline. Then we take every one of those discipline and try to divide it by a job that a crew can finish in 1 to 2 weeks. But this doesn't stop there. When we create those a job of 1 to 2 weeks of a crew, which we call them installation work package or IWP for short, we have to make sure that we have all the necessary element. By necessary element, I mean I have to make sure I clear the constraint, I have the material, I have the drawing, I have the tools, the training required for my team. All of these have to be ready before the start of the job. This is the whole idea behind workface planning. Whoever worked in a shutdown project, he will understand exactly what I'm talking about, because I believe the workface planning, the way of preparatory work for the IWP is very similar to a shutdown activity. Now, what are the benefits of workface planning? If you are ready, you don't take shortcut. If you are ready, you are not surprised. And this is as a byproduct of workface planning, your safety will improve. Also, your quality will improve. Like how many times somebody wanted to do, a crew wanted to start doing a weld, and suddenly they remember, oops, it requires preheating. We don't have the proper machine. Let us heat it by using a torch, and you end up having a very lousy quality at the end. While with workface planning, this is already pre-prepared, because we know from experience, if a certain type of activity they always forget, for example, this sort of tool, we put it as part of the checklist to make sure they do it. Improved efficiency. Now, the improved efficiency is very straightforward when it comes to workface planning, because if I increase my tool time from 28 just to 35, it means I increase my efficiency by 25%, because 7 over the 28 is around 25% of this value. So this will give you an idea. And definitely, when we receive a proper system to get you the feedback from site, you always can do better. As a pro tip, and this actually we got it from our colleagues, that there have been a study where they did only training for the foreman and site staff without implementing any system, without getting any technology, just they give them the workface planning training. This by itself, it gave those site people some sort of a system so that they can improve the productivity by around 10%. So if you only train your people, you will improve your productivity by around 10%. Now, also one of the benefits of workface planning and advanced work packaging, you can see that you can from day one know if you are going into a venture and working with a certain company. You can immediately tell how you're going to perform, because there has been a direct correlation between late engineering, poor sequencing, and missing construction-driven planning. If those three are not done properly, there is a direct correlation between them and between safety incident, poor labor productivity, and unpredictable construction. When we say unpredictable, it means delay. So you can see that there is a direct correlation between those two. Now, if we look at the whole picture, we can see that the advanced work packaging talks about everything from the project setup till the commissioning and startup of the project. However, the workface planning will handle only the construction part of the whole phases of the capital project execution. So we can see that this is the start of the construction will entail the workface planning. But just I would like to understand that this does not mean that the construction should be involved only during construction. Also, there is a direct correlation. If the contractor is early engaging with the firms or with the engineering and procurement, if he has early engagement where he have his experience pour into the path of construction and the interactive planning and how they divide the project and what comes first, this will give much better results. So if we see in this graph that start of construction is actually will entail the workface planning, but this does not mean that the contractor should be involved at this stage. The earlier the engagement, the better the performance. Okay, now over to you, Nabil.
All right. So I need to share my screen. Let me know when you can see.
Yeah, we can see your Explorer, Nabil. Yeah, now we can see.
Perfect. So thank you, Shihad. Thank you very much for these technical points and return on investment and some information related to workface planning. So now let's have a look at what looks like an advanced work packaging implementation on the construction cloud platform with some examples, values, and how it can accelerate any digital transformation in the oil and gas industry and in any other plant field project construction life cycles. But before that, quickly our safe harbor statement that we need to provide you, as we might touch some current and future development of our solutions. Some of you may already seen such documents at the beginning of any Autodesk University class or any online webinar. So I just spend 10 seconds so that you can read it. All right. So here we have a quick recap of the AWP journey at Autodesk, where we have been and where we are going. In 2017, it was the first year that Autodesk presented at the AWP conference. The same year, we introduced the platform approach, which was already on BIM 360 in addition to some Forge APIs enabling the AWP process. We also aligned the Autodesk platform to RT272, especially the field mobility section for installation packaging workflows. A year later, in 2018, we reported what has been done through sessions, collected voice of the customers and feedback, and based on that, the Autodesk AWP key principles have been drafted. We also shared a field mobility case study and testimonial from KBR, who applied the AWP alignment that has been defined a year before. In 2019, the expansion of the platform through acquisitions like Assemble Systems, PlantGrid, and Building Connect has been considered for the AWP process. The KBR case study has also been updated and shared during Autodesk University, where they showcased the implementation successes, ROI, and how it helped to win more projects. An important white paper also has been made available online, finalizing the 7 key principles for scalable deployment of AWP, which I will show on my next slide. In 2020, the platform continued to support more and more field mobility in its evolution, and also the first set of certified Forge integrator, mainly in the Western region, was there, democratizing, by the way, the AWP deployment to follow any specific rules or company convention. And this year we had some announcement of partner integration. And in 2021, we have BlackSmithSoft as the first AWP-oriented and Forge certified partner based and operating in the Middle East. And back in February last month, we also started a new chapter of the AWP community of practice for the Middle East and North Africa region with great enthusiasm and participation during the first workshop organized by BlackSmithSoft Group ISI, who invited many stakeholders, the CII, COA, some major companies operating mainly in the Middle East, and other technology providers willing to write that new knowledge sharing chapter altogether. And part of this engagement will be to deliver quarterly webinars on the AWP concept, to keep the community up to date on this great platform evolution. So now, as highlighted earlier, the AWP is a process-driven concept involving different stakeholders from different departments, different companies at different times during a project execution by leveraging different systems and technology which heavily needs to communicate data instantly and efficiently. As mentioned back in 2019, one of the Autodesk AWP approach was to define the whole concept in 7 key principles. First one, to be scalable and adaptable to any project size from small to large scale. Second, to be deployed very quickly, allowing all counterparts of a project to be involved instantly without any delay or heavy onboarding procedure. Third, it needs to be cloud-based, web accessible, light, and mobile friendly, including offline, to somehow dematerialize the IT requirement, which would be heavy, costly to maintain, and hard to adapt in case of any change, which always happen on the project lifecycle. 4, real-time, data-driven, paperless workflow to allow a complete digitization of all documents by vacuuming any of those like specification, datasheets, technical documentation, drawings, permits, and more. And even connect them cleverly to installation work packaging so that everyone gets the right set of documents from his tablet at the right time from any location. 5, it needs to be adaptable and compliant to any industry standards to follow all ISO requirements and other government and or organization-specific guidelines. 6, it needs to be a robust and a robust API connectable, an open platform, and partners development friendly. The more we can integrate, share the data, the more we can connect to other systems like ERPs or BIM model metadata, and being part of the entire ecosystem of a project lifecycle. And 7, it needs to be design system agnostic to avoid being limited by a specific vendor system or format. So now, today, time and progress tracking and having the ability to visualize progress control through dashboards becomes more and more important to the entire lifecycle of projects. We tend to see more and more insurance and quality controls companies requesting easy and quick search of data to be able to deliver a necessary or specific authorization. From stage 0 to stage 4, as you can see, the AWP deployment needs to be flexible enough to ensure a common data environment and collect this data on an automatic process. The whole project needs to be segmented in different work packages and linked to defined constraint managed cleverly by the team who will supervise and validate the progress, which will automatically be reported to designated stakeholders involved like procurement, safety, engineering department, offshore team, and more. The functional requirement includes all the site-specific operation, allowing field mobility in real time and report the progress of what's happening on site to any department, contractors, reviewers, or third party involved. All this in real time, being online or offline with automatic synchronization to the platform. Now, from the Autodesk platform point of view, Autodesk Construction Cloud will be the support for all the operation processing happening on the back end during this timeline. Then, based on this Construction Cloud solution, we'll have multiple APIs connecting to the ecosystem and to the platform via Forge and Autodesk Construction Cloud Connect. BlackSmithSoft, as an example today, is one of those delivering and implementing bespoke AWP solid implementations and tools on top of the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. Let's now have a look at the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform and some preview of the features that could be efficiently leveraged for the AWP implementation and automation. So first, the way the data is centralized into the platform allows designers, industry managers, document controllers, and others to collaborate both internally and externally, having all their specific roles and permission. The way also all documents are aggregated and shared with an automatic versioning and control removes a lot of back and forth movement of the data we used to see on traditional design communication, which cause a lot of repetitive errors and human mistakes during the design phase. And in the traditional way to proceed, we used to see for the best case scenario, those errors corrected before construction starts, but not always, unfortunately. Thus, one of the main return on investment is to have that single source of truth, whatever format of data it is, whoever stakeholders' contribution is, and whoever consumes the data instantly. Multiple team members on the same network can work together on a model while their team stays fully connected. A wide range of collaboration modes provides more flexibility to better meet the project team's workflows in real time, access to the shared model to formal division of the project into discrete shared units or individually managed linked models. The platform allows collaboration and activity alignments outside of the project by leveraging everyone's input into the model in an automated way without effort. This was even more true during the current worldwide situation, having a lot of people working from home or stuck in a specific location, but could still be able to be productive, having the access to the entire project. AWP is all about efficiency and efficient coordination between all stakeholders. And this starts from the design of a specific area from different teams who needs to coordinate together the advancement to remove any clash-provoking future rework. The platform allows model coordination in real time with an innovative and automatic way to consume and correct detected clashes, which used to happen during traditional coordination meetings when clash attribution were defined in a regular cadence. With the Autodesk construction platform, model coordination nowadays becomes a routine and part of all model builders, whatever industry they belong to, as soon as they are adding elements to the model. From any device, mobile or tablet, you can quickly access, create, edit, and share 2D and 3D design markups, feedback issues with any project members for real-time efficient iteration without having to contact your counterpart. This, even if you lose the internet connection on site, as soon as you recover your bandwidth, the platform will be automatically synchronized. You can create private and published markups. Private markups can be created by members with view permissions and can only be seen by their creators. 3D collaboration and reviews. The platform is also connectable with Navisworks to report instantly issues from the site to the engineering department and those having access to the authoring tool. With this Navisworks issue management integrator workflow, we basically reinforce the loop of reporting problems from the field to the designers. You are no longer walking, running, traveling to access the data, the information, or to a person, as we used to do since decades. The data and the advancement of the project will follow you from wherever location you are. And when we say data follows you, it includes the whole project the whole project data up to date, even dashboards linked to external databases, systems like Power BI or others that have been implemented to report and track for you any type of activity or progress. Vice versa, you see how easy it is to report to somebody and assign a quick change directly from the 3D model. Assigning a due date and save it takes just a few seconds for this pipe support, and instantly the assignee receives a notification email which will directly point to the item in the 3D model to modify when opening the notification. Having a BIM model as a database in the platform enables connecting scheduling programs like MS Project or Primavera to simulate the construction phase by identifying the work sequencing and visualize the construction timeline. Here, a system integrator providing online tools allowing any stakeholders of the project to iterate whenever they need from the simulation and optimize its sequencing. Progress can, in that way, track along with logistic purposes, and we can better predict logistic clearance necessary to optimize equipment mobilization on site and plan its cost accordingly. Changes are always happening during construction, and having the ability to control or discuss rapidly on the specific change is a strength of the platform. And being able to visualize this change helps to be more efficient with the project teams. As an example, being able to identify a specific change required on an isometric or on the 3D model helps to accelerate the change management from the field to the office or workshop for prefabrication optimization. No more unnecessary phone calls, emails, or WhatsApp messages, which can be lost or not reachable, will happen anymore with this single source of truth, which saves timely and costly misunderstandings between teams. Out-of-the-box features of the platform allows you to get information published faster and organized logically with bulk upload set creation and automatic separation of sheets from design files. Organize construction drawings and documents into sets and quickly review changes between versions in 2D or 3D. In that case, we are using markups to quickly request a critical modification on the pipeline. Other features which save a huge amount of time when working with thousands of drawings are like the extraction of document sets from design file, the OCR title block data for automated naming, which is an interesting workflow which avoid painful repetitive editing tasks when you upload PDF file from a supplier or a manufacturer, as well as automatic separation of multi-page PDF files. Access the information is an important aspect, maybe even the most important aspect of managing your project, but ensuring the people who need that information can consume it easily in the format they are most comfortable. When working with traditional formats like 2D paper or static digital files, teams can be challenged when they are in different locations, when there is no easy way to collaborate and communicate, to getting access on site is difficult and inconsistent, and paper is still the primary method of communication and documentation. The platform makes project information available on any device so that team members can stay informed and up to date regardless from where they are working. Apps for iOS and Android are available, plus the web access, obviously. Viewing, markups, issues, measurements tool are available from any device. Document and folders access can be offline with synchronization to the cloud when they recover the bandwidth. And note that nowadays we have a bunch of explosive atmosphere compliant devices suppliers, allowing field workers to stay connected in those restricted and controlled workplace area by accessing the platform. Managing construction delays and requests for information has always been a time-consuming task, especially on the oil and gas for large-scale projects when people had to travel long distance to report back an information. Today, you communicate delays information or questions from the field to the office instantly, which is a huge productivity gain. You resolve issues faster and get more accountable for specific tasks. The platform aggregates project data across the entire life cycle to give you a clear picture into project performance, allowing you to make quicker and more informed business decisions and predict issues before they become costly holdups. The platform data and analytics capability provides a unified project homepage, dashboard, and reports, partner data integrated, and easy customizable. Deliver on the latest generation platform, these features helps team manage risks by giving them personalized visibility into daily priorities, an instant snapshot of individual project health, as well as insight into company-wide performance. Here, a construction progress example using Assemble and the 3D model as a database connected to a project control dashboard. This becomes easy even with tons of information and different contexts because they are now self-organized. This shows we can leverage the BIM model to sort the material status and track the progress directly and visually. You can see the material in red color status, which means this part is still on issued mode for review and stage, provoking some delay on the whole progression. This information, when visually displayed, means directly something wrong, which wouldn't be the case on a traditional workflow with a loss of time and less reactivity. Another example here from Blacksmith, where you can see clearly by color the progression status of the construction area, and from this visual progression status, you can extract quantities already and isolate spools, for example, to better adapt, let's say, the logistic or the workshop cadence upstream. The field execution process can be digitized as well by removing all the paperless documents in one single repository. You can in real time track and approve completion and validation status. Roles and responsibilities can be also personalized using digital signatures for approvals. And any type of digital field reports and lists can be efficiently connected to external database systems. The platform also allows safety and quality inspection in real time from the field in a digital way. These have a lot of value in being reactive on incidents that might happen if reported on a traditional way. It also reduces dramatically the time spent to write and send reports from the field by the safety team when they get back to the office. But more importantly, it allows all departments, including human resource and others, to be instantly informed of a specific issue happening from the field by feeding automatically safety dashboards shared with the entire company. When it comes to the test of the facility while starting a pipeline, for example, we can again here leverage the BIM model database to understand better the end-to-end process while testing. Process lines are having a lot of instrumentation which needs to report correct values during the test. And with the platform and your mobile device or your tablet, you can easily take photos of an instrument measure and share it with the electrical and automation team. We can report comments and useful feedback during the test phase for the rest of the company records. We go paperless and digitize again the system worked down and punch list processes. Here is an example of KBR great job digitizing the whole system worked down punch list. In that way, they optimize that time-consuming task by reducing the system turnover information access and leave the field with a complete contextual punch list with assignments. No data re-entry or Excel log storage and analysis required anymore. The platform can be efficiently leveraged for commissioning and startups, as well as decommissioning. Having the BIM model with its metadata efficiently prepared for the AWP platform allows the field operator to optimize securing commissioning advancement, which drive early startups. This is also valuable for complex dismantlement of specific units where different stakeholders need to be involved efficiently within the unified platform via specific approval workflows for each single step during the decommissioning procedures. Finally, we can leverage the artificial intelligence and external data like trends to get more insight at the company or department level. The platform allows dedicated dashboard listing critical information like risk, open issues, or safety incident and update them in real time. We can also import external data like the job reference of a production unit, the weather condition nearby in real time, the performance of contractors, or any other information which might put the project delivery deadline in risk. So a bit of a conclusion here. The project execution methodology for advanced work packaging, it's formally defined by CII and COAA research, CII RT272, adopted as an industry best practice by CII in 2015 through CII RT319. The AWP core project strategies and principles are early construction involvement during front-end engineering and design, engineering and supply chain deliverables aligned with path of construction, work package and constraint management, information management. And the potential of AWP project outcomes identified in RT272 and RT319 is up to a quarter of increase in productivity in field, which is huge, and up to 10% decrease in total cost. And it provides an improved schedule performance with project delivery and schedule, improved safety performance with zero lost time accident records, increased quality with reduced construction rework, increased predictability in terms of cost and schedule estimates. So the AWP implementation using the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform allows to connect all the different departments of an organization or even outside to feed efficiently in real time the project database, which is key for a delivery on schedule. At the same time, the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform remains flexible, extensible, and connectable to any system or technology provider. Here you have a Milky Way of different technology provider in that slide. And we have much more in reality, as this slide is a bit old. And this is not a static ecosystem. We have different companies doing different things. Some are document and file management oriented. Some others are workforce for collaboration. Some are more financial and budget management. Others are site and safety management. Others are project management, and others are reality capture, mixed reality. And between those, we have some data analytics, including BlackSmithSoft, which is the company presenting today and having the ability to provide you with the AWP implementation, especially in the Middle East, North and Africa region. I finished with my part, and I give you back the mic, Shihad.
Thanks, Nabil. All right, so I'm gonna just be talking a bit about how we handle advanced work packaging and workface planning via a set of screenshots. So what can we provide as a blacksmith? We can provide you with advanced work packaging workface planning management system. We do a full integration between the advanced work packaging and your typical project control system. We have a good experience in interfacing with existing solution, whether it is your ERP, your material management, your existing scheduling system, your budget, your estimation. And also we can provide you with AWP WFP training, certified training via our partners. Now, if we look at the CWA, we can see that in our system, we can have a list of all the CWAs. And for every one of these construction work areas, we know what are the CWP they are made of. We know what is the procurement status, what's the documentation, whether it is drawing, RFI, constraint status. We have also the 3D models that is attributed to those CWAs. So all of these are accessible via our platform. Now, when it comes to construction work package, We have, in addition to those, we can provide you with the ability to add custom attributes as you are progressing through the construction. So in other words, let's say you would like to add some additional code to link those CWPs to your budgeting system, this is doable. If you would like to add some BOQs so that you can create your payment application immediately, this is something doable. All of these can be added to your model via the custom attribute capability. In addition to this, as we know that the construction work package in most of the cases are single discipline, so we'll give you a direct link to the procurement statuses, whether it is PO, X work dates, and so on. What are the material available in your store and so on. And we give you ability also to isolate the models so that it represent only this CWP, and at any minute you can do the other way around. In other words, if you want to see what is surrounding this CWP, you can do this as well. Now, when we talk about integrating with the schedule, so the whole idea is, in most cases, companies or contractors, their actual schedule is not in line with AWP. So in other words, we expect the schedule to start, from level 1 as a project, level 2 as CWA, level 3 as CWP, and then go down. But this is not always the case. So what we did is we allow a seamless integration between your scheduling and the BlackSmithSoft AWP system. In this case, you can just drag it and drop it as we see in this picture. And you provide the rules how the linking will be done, like which level would present the CWP, which level the CWA, or what are the property that could be represented. And accordingly, this integration will be seamless. And you can always, when you update the IWP status in the system, you can roll it back to your scheduling system accordingly. Now, the IWP is actually the heart of workface planning, and that's why we gave it a very special attention. So for the IWP, it can be created by selecting some item from the 3D model, giving it the progress template as we see in this picture. And then after we do the selection and assign, the system will automatically generate for you what are the quantities required, how you progress it based on the template you selected. It will go to your budgeting system and norms, get the man hours, get the expected cost, and so on. All of these will be integrated within this IWP. And this will provide you with a summary data, like on top you can see start date and date based on the schedule, target date based on how you agreed with your engineer on site, and the actual will be what's happening really on site. We also have a direct link between the IWP and the parent CWP, and as well between the IWP and the scheduling activity to always know if we are on schedule or not. We have a constraint link, and for the constraint, actually, we use a very robust workflow that when you create those constraints, they will immediately become an issue within BIM 360 docs, and it follow their security protocol to do the workflow notification, and when it is closed, we will be notified. We have as well the readiness checklist, which we pour a good amount of our experience into it to inform everyone. If you are doing, let's say, a piping activity, what are the stuff that you need to worry about? What are the typical stuff that are forgotten, like special tools, or maybe some rigging equipment, or training for your people, or availability of permits and permit to work, and so on. And there is also a direct link between the documentation required to execute this job, this IWP, and the IWP. Now, this is very important, the document link, for one main reason is, in many cases, when we are talking about vendor supplied material, like for example, if you are talking about a power generation equipment or maybe some module arriving, we can see that those guys, they send you one single document with maybe 800 or 900 pages. It does not make sense to give your foreman an 800-page document. So what we do here is, when we link to those documents, the IWP will know exactly which page it needs to go to, and it highlight which part of that page. And this is extremely beneficial to cut down the time that your team on site is spending trying to identify, let's say, the drawing required to do the job. I'm gonna here just show you a number of reports that we normally use from the system directly, and they are AWP and WFP specific reports. So this is the Skyline report. It tells you every week how many man hours of IWP you already have produced, and out of these man hour, how many of them are IFC. And the IFC man hour, it means these are the stuff that you can really execute. So in other words, in this week, even though there are 3,700 man hour available, but only 680 do not have any issue and you can do the job. This will always be a good idea to show you how you are performing and whether you need to take any action or reschedule IWPs. This is the open constraint. We can see here the constraints are divided by discipline, and if we expand it, we know who is the person holding this constraint or which company and in how many days they are due. And if you press on any of those constraints, it will open for you the list of all the IWPs affected by this constraint. Of course, if you reach the due date and the constraints are not closed, we can do the escalation. So here we can filter by escalation only, and accordingly we can follow up who is causing the issue. We raise it to the top management so that they clear them. Here we have the release plan. So in other words, in this report, we will show you what we are planning to release when it comes to IWP. This is very important in the workface planning workflow. And this is the IWP Back Log. It will show you how many weeks of work you have available as a person. So for example, in this equipment one, we can see that I have two IWPs approved, and they have around 1,400 man hours. I have on site 12 people to execute those IWPs. It means I have a 4 weeks of work front. So when this number go under 4 weeks, it means I might put my people idle in the coming 4 weeks and some certain action need to be taken. In addition to this, we have what we call the progress history. So this is a very important report because we keep the history of how we are progressing. So we can know every quarter, every month, every week, how we are performing when it comes to progress-wise. And this will help a lot to identify the trends within your project. Now we talk that we integrate with the project control system, so we can provide a dashboard. This is an example of a dashboard that will summarize the purchase orders, the risk-related data, project summary, scope, progress itself, and we have a number of KPIs, a high-level KPIs that also we can follow. We have as well the construction work area manager. This normally is a good report that we can provide to the construction manager. You can see the model is colorized based on the progress, what's complete. So if you see green, it means 100% complete. If you see blue, it means 50% complete. These are the various activity to be executed for this CWA. And we can see here how much the percentage completion. And on the bottom, you can see a number of gadgets like the S-curve, the float gauge, and how it is divided when it comes to discipline and the project clock. Now, when it comes to 4D simulation, the good thing about this 4D, you don't have to create it yourself. As long as you are creating the IWPs and you are following the workface planning procedure, this will be a byproduct. So in other words, after you create your 3 weeks look ahead or 3 months look ahead and create your draft IWP, you can immediately tell the 4D simulation how they will follow, and this will highlight if there is any out of sequence issue. I remember in one of the projects when we were in Kazakhstan, when we showed this 4D to one of the experienced construction manager, he immediately identified for us, well, be careful. If you erect this pipe rack now, you will not be erect this equipment later on, and you might need to get a huge crane. And this, it highlights to us that, okay, we should put this on hold until we erect the equipment. Otherwise, we have to get a 1,000-ton crane to be able to do it. Now, when it comes to the 5D simulation, we were able to link your budget with your progress with the actual coloring of your model. So accordingly, to the right-hand side, you can see how you are performing when it comes to budget, and to the left-hand side, how you are performing with in relation to progress. And normally, at the beginning of the project, your cost might be much higher than your progress, but then they will start to approach each other, because in many cases, especially when it comes to procurement, you do it at the beginning of the project. Now, for the cost control, we have a very, let's say, comprehensive cost report that we produce. You can see here you have the approved budget, the forecast budget, and we have here as well the cumulative and the variance and so on. These sort of reports are extremely powerful because it can highlight issues, and you can drill down to know exactly where is the issue. So in other words, you can tell if a certain area is underperforming when it comes to cost, or if even a certain crew is underperforming, you can immediately identify it. Okay, now I'll pass it to Chuck to explain a bit about the coming slide.
Okay, great. So I'll just go over some of the resources and additional readings that you can go into to know more about advanced work packaging and workplace planning. First, BlackSmithSoft is partnered with Concord Academy, a Los Angeles-based provider of certified advanced work packaging workplace planning solutions. These are self-paced courses. You can take them at your own time and own leisure. There's a test system that after each module you get tested, and when you pass, you get your certification. And you can directly visit our website to know more about this and download the different agendas for each certification program. Next, please. Okay, and also if you are interested in joining our joining the community, the advanced work packaging community, the chapter for the MENA region has been recently set up. This is a chapter that contains, like the chapter in North America or in South America or Asia, it contains mainly the practitioners of advanced work packaging. And what we're trying to do is have a community that does a lot of networking, technical meetings, webinars, trainings, and events, and it's absolutely free to join it. All you have to do is request to enter from the link below on LinkedIn, and we will approve you in. Next slide, please. Okay, there are also several AWP resources on Autodesk's website, and you can, there's a link, either you can use the QR code or a link that will appear next, and there's some fantastic resources, videos, white papers, as well as demos as well, and this is specifically for what's happening in Autodesk. Next, please. Okay, here we have also, if you want more information about the security of BIM 360, okay, there's a resource which is very interesting to read here about it. Next, please. Okay, and finally, also there is an article that was recently published on the Forge website of Autodesk about the story of how BlackSmithSoft selected the Forge platform, why it selected it, and how it is using that for advanced work packaging, workplace planning, and also building information modeling, BIM. Next, please. Okay, and thank you very much for your time.